I'm Mizu, and this is my first video. I decided that I should share my arts and crafts with people, because why not? Okay, first we start with the upper torso of the body, and I use like a square with circles on the side for arms, the future arms. And of course I drew a circle for the head and then a line down for the neck. Now down for the rest of the body, I use a trapezoid for the hips, and then I move on to the legs with just circle, like a round edge. Or sometimes, whenever I draw the leg, I will draw like the kneecap circle first of if I want depending on the height of the character, I would do that. Now, of course, I started drawing the arms later on because I like to go everywhere around the place. So I just draw the arms with 2 cylinders and then like a little triangle without the point for the hands. Once I have drawn around the circle to make the head, I then place where the ears shall be by making them 2 markings. Then we work down to the features, and then beside that chicken scratch though, I of course had to give her a cute little bodice with some flowers on it. It don't look like flowers right now, but it will later, I guess, one day. And then I of course had to give her like these little things on her shoulder. Okay, imagine it as tulle. Okay, so it's like see-through, but not too see-through. Okay, you know, like tulle, like you see on a tutu. Okay. Now I'm working on that belt. I was gonna give her like a 2000 belt, but I didn't like the way it looked. So I decided to erase it, think about it, and then I gave her this knitting sweater looking thing on her. Now for her skirt, alright, I was gonna give her a pleated skirt, but then I didn't want to make a pleated skirt because I draw pleated skirts way too often. So I changed it into more of a poof, and that's when I got the idea of what she would be. Okay, because her skirt reminds me of a type of vegetable. And I was like, it could be that. So, it's an avocado. She's an avocado. She's an avocado girly. And so, I went along with that and finished up her skirt. And then I gave her some socks. Disclaimer, dog. Disclaimer. These socks just got hairs on it, okay? I thought avocados had hairs on it, but I was thinking about a kiwi. So I just put hairs on her sock. But later I erase it. Well, I don't erase it. But I do not inquire that in her outfit anymore later on. Okay, so those are not her legs. Her legs is not hairy. Those are her socks. Her socks. Okay? I thought I was drawing a kiwi. Okay, I mean, like, I thought hairs were on avocados. Okay? They're both green. Like, I mean, kiwis are brown on the outside, but like in the inside it's green. So like, the color palette is literally the same. So literally, it's her socks. She do not need to shave. It's her socks. Now I'm down here with the shoes. I don't really draw shoes all that well because I really don't use reference for them. Though I gave her some decent shoes. Some decent shoes. She don't need no shoelaces though, cause that's I don't know nothing about no shoelace now. She can have it without it. Ain't no difference. She ain't running nowhere. Finally stopped avoiding them hands. I don't know about you, but hands are a struggle. I could spend 40 minutes just on hands. Just on hands. Everything else, dude, I could do it under 7 minutes. But them hands, they take the rest of my time, the rest of my life, and the rest of my focus. So, I did it the best I could in like under a few minutes, but like it still took the most of my time, so it just don't look like that right now. But that purse though, ooh, I would have it in real life. Okay, if it was in pink, okay, I would have it. Okay, since she's an avocado inspired veggie girl, I gave her this purse that looks like the avocado seed. Me and my brain. We work well together sometimes on her good days. So, you know, she had to have some purse. Okay, she had to have some money in that purse. Okay, she needs somewhere to carry her dough, and so I gave her that purse. Now to them eyes, I like drawing eyes when I know what I'm doing. But of course, I have to map out, make sure it wasn't gonna be crooked. It was still a little crooked, but that don't mean none. Okay, that means I tried. And of course, if you're drawing an eye, you start on one, do the same thing to the other, move back onto the one you started before, and then you go back. Okay? You don't just draw the whole eye on the one eye, because then you'll forget your thinking process. And you'll forget the process. So, you might as well just go do it, like, at the same time. Now, if you were both-handed, though, you could just draw both eyes on both sides. That'd be cool. I haven't seen it yet, but that'd be cool. And, of course, I drew her nose. You know, just a little button nose. I just drew a circle, and then around the circle I did like small swoops for the nostrils. And then I did the eyebrows, and then mouth, and now I'm doing the hair. Okay, I still wanted to keep that shape of the avocado, so it's like a nice like page boy hair that you would see in like the late 19s. Very beautiful. I love this hairstyle. I think I use it like about only 3 times for as much as I love it. I just try to restrict it. I'm like, only a quite few can have this. So, but she became one of the lucky ones to have that page boy hair. We love it. I love it. Worn it to prom. Okay. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful hairstyle. Here with me with these fingers again. And of course, I had to name her. Her name is dun, 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 Ava. Who could have guessed? Ava Avocado. Ava Avocado. See, it rings a bell. It rings some bell. And of course, I had to go straight digitally, because if I colored in real life, it'd be a catastrophe. I do got some colors though. I use a lot of cheap colors that I get, okay? I ain't got time to be buying a $10 marker for one marker. No. Just give me my 3.25 cents for a marker, like. But, you know, on digital, you ain't gotta worry about that. So, you know, the avocado color palette is just green, brown, and some yellows, depending if you want some variety, or depending if your avocado is ripe or not. But of course, I start off with a shade of her color and start smoothing it out there. Okay. I do the same shading technique around her whole face and neck and arms and hands and nose. Yeah. Basically, I just grab a darker tint of a color, then place it around where I think the shadows will bounce off on. Here, I haven't really found out where the light is coming from. Okay, as you can see, she's in a void. A very nice void. So, where would the color be? Where would the light be? And if you hear the fan going off, that's literally just a fan going off in my room. So, yeah. Ooh. Looks like I missed some footage. I have no idea where the blush came from, dude. But you know, it's just a simple airbrush technique I did. So you could just apply it towards the cheeks. You could just apply it towards the cheeks, the shoulders, the nose sometimes, depending. Gotta make sure it don't look like she got a rash. So be delicate with that brush. And then of course, do her shoe colors. Very nice color. I wanted to go bright, but I was like, bright would be too much. It'd be too unbalanced if I used it on the top of her shoe. So I put it at the bottom, but then I was like, it was ugly. And so I changed it back to muted palette. really did try to stay to the avocado color theme. And I really did try with this skirt. This skirt, I had never drawn silk in my life, but that's exactly what the material I was thinking of. So I had to pull up a very nice silk fabric on the side from Pinterest. Okay. Now we get to the eyes. I just did 2 dots and then like a strange swoop across because I wanted to be different. And so, I felt like the eye was a little too plain. And then of course I just made like the glares in her eyes. Make it shine. Make it seem like she got life. And you see them socks? You can barely see them socks right now, but you see they ain't got no hair on it. And it's not her leg. It's not her leg. But besides that, as you can see, I shaded this green thing, which is her upper half of her socks. It's different kind of socks, okay? She's wearing 2 socks. And I just thought this was very nice. It reminds me of leg warmers, but for your thighs. And so I added like some shading and some light to the color, so it looks like it's popping out on the ones that are closer up to surface, I guess. The wrinkles. And I just kept on doing that throughout the whole sock. Now for this purse, I think I did pretty well for the chains. But, I had it silver, then I changed to gold because I feel like it'll contrast better with the avocado because, it has some yellow. Okay, I'm going to give her a little bit of yellows in a little while. And then for the shoes, I just put some lines down and gave it depth because it's a shoe. And then I shadowed the rest of the shoe, okay, especially where the wrinkles were, because wherever the wrinkles are, it's darker most of the time. Not unless you got a big old light shining right on through it. And then I put some green highlights on the shoe to make it pop out. I felt like it was too dark, so a pop of color would do just well for it. And then of course I add some shadows in between the sock and her shoe. And if you can't see, I added some detail on the sock, like some textures. And then I add flowers, pop of yellow. Okay, and that's the reason why I changed the chains the way the way I did, because I knew the flowers just had to be yellow, okay? So a pop of gold on that purse was, it was swell. And then I added flowers on her wrist because I thought her wrist was a little ugly the way I drew it, so I had to hide it. And then I made the background yellow because the pastel yellow would look very good for that green she's wearing. So, yeah. And that's it. I added more texture, so. And I added texture on the purse, too. please subscribe. Thank you. Hopefully I'll come again. And hopefully I'll be better at drawing fingers. Thank you for the video. I mean, wait, what? I'm doing the video. What am I talking about? Thank you for watching this video.